Okay, this is another video for my pre-calculus class for trig equations that involve more than one function. This is my lab 3. This page right here at the very top, it says find all the values for theta in the interval 0 to 2 pi. So this is a radians page. I've already done a video for 11 and 12, so this is number 13. First thing I look at is I want to solve this. I get it's in radians. I see right here that I have a double angle. All right, so then I'm going to run over there, and plus I see this is cosine and sine. So I'm going to come over here to my basic identities sheet, and I'm looking for a double angle. So remember, for cosine, I have a choice of 1, 2, 3. Because the other function was sine, I'm going to go by this one right here because I want to keep it in sine. So I just want to show you that is that you have a choice. All right. So in my spot here, I'm going to put in the cosine, because this is already sine, I'm going to use what I just showed you. So I have 1 minus 2 sine squared theta plus sine theta. I just finish it off and equals 0. Now I'm going to put this in order. So I have negative 2 sine squared theta plus sine theta plus 1 equals 0. And then I'm going to stack and rack here. A is negative 2, B is 1, C is 1, and D is B squared minus 4AC, comes out to be 9. Okay? So now I'm going to find I got sine theta equals, put in the quadratic formula, is negative B plus or minus the square root of 9 all over 2A, or negative 4, and do plus and minus. When I do the plus, I get negative 1/2. When I do the minus, I get a 1. Okay, so let's get going. I'm going to do the 1 first, all right, just because I can. And I see the 1 here is, if I did inverse sine of 1, I'm going to get 90 degrees. But because we're in radians, it's pi over 2. And then I remember when I draw my picture, because I want you to draw your picture, I know this is the point 0, 1. So this is where sine is 1. So it's right on the quadrant. Please make sure you check the other one. So I have negative 1, 0, 1, 0 here. So sine is 0 on both of those. And here's sine is negative 1. So that is the only one, pi over 2. All right, that's my 90 degrees, if you will. Now here for the negative 1/2, what I want you to do is inverse sine of the positive 1/2, which this is on your table. I told you if you did anything with radians, this would be on your table, which I know that the sine of 30 is 1/2, or if you will, pi over 6. This is your reference angle only, because sine is negative in quadrants 3, because it's my y's, and quadrants 4. So if I see pi over 6 is my reference angle, that's in quadrant 1, I'm going to do the trick that I taught you, 6 pi over 6, 12 pi over 6. So what will it be here? Well, I'm going to add 1 here. So it's going to be 7 pi over 6 here. If I subtract 1 here, it's 11 pi over 6. So what are my answers? Well, my answer is, okay, ready? Pi over 2. Then I have 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. There's only 3 answers to that one. So that's kind of cool. Here we go. I have cosine of a double angle. But look at this one compared to the one we just did. There's sine in here. This is cosine. So when I go look at the double angle formula, I'm going to pick the one with cosine because I want to be smart about which one I pick. So the one with cosine is right here, is number 2. This is what I'm going to plug in there, in that spot, because you don't want to leave the double angle there. Okay? So let's go back to our lab here. And I'm going to put in that spot the cosine one that I just showed you, okay? So that's going to be 2 cosine squared theta. Oh, that's an awful looking theta, isn't it? So let's cosine squared theta minus 1, okay? Plus, and now I'm going to bring the rest of it, 3 cosine theta plus 2 equals 0. Now I'm just going to combine everything, and I said, okay, here's this. I'm going to combine the negative 1 and the 2, so I end up with 2 cosine squared theta plus 3 cosine theta plus 1 equals 0. This should be a 0 here. I don't know what that turned into, okay? Now I'm going to stack and rack. Let's go. A is 2. B is 3. C is 1, D comes out to be 1. So I say cosine theta is negative B, so it's negative 3, plus or minus the square root of 1 all over 2a, plus minus. When I add negative 3 plus 1 over 4, I get a negative 1/2. If I subtract negative 3 minus 1, that's negative 4 over 4, I get negative 1. Okay, so they're both negative. I'm going to do the 1 first because I know if it's cosine or sine, and if I put that in my calculator, because I know that this is on a quadrant, let's draw the picture before we do it. I know that cosine is my x, and negative 1, 0 is way over here on the left. If I put that in my calculator and I'm in degrees, I'm going to get 180. But because we're in radians, this is pi, and it's right on the quadrant. Then make sure you check all the rest. This is 1, 0. That's cosine's 1 here, and here cosine is 0 on both of these. So no other quadrant is going to work out. So that's one of the answers right here. Again, cosine here is negative. Cosine is my x. I know that it's negative in quadrants 2 and 3. So when I put this in, you guessed it, I'm going to put the positive 1 in to figure out my reference angle. So when I put the inverse cosine of 1/2 in there, okay, I get pi over 3 or 60 degrees because this is my reference angle. And remember, reference angles live in quadrant 1. So I'm going to change this to 3 pi over 3 and 6 pi over 3. So if I want to go back 1, I'm going to subtract it. So 2 pi over 3 is going to be one of my answers. And then I'm going to add it. It's going to be 4 pi over 3. So this one has 3 answers again as well. So one of them is going to be pi. The other one's going to be 2 pi over 3. And the other one is 4 pi over 3. So I hope this helps with setting everything up and showing all the work.